Imagine picking up your phone. You're exhausted. You've been losing sleep for months, just staring at the ceiling, wondering how you're ever going to pay off that mounting credit card debt that's literally suffocating your finances. Then, a voice on the other end of the line speaks. It sounds official, it's professional, and most importantly, it promises the exact lifeline you've been desperately praying for, a guaranteed fast way out of crippling debt. But within a matter of minutes, that lifeline becomes a noose. Instead of finding financial freedom, your bank account is suddenly systematically drained. Your identity is stolen. The debt you were trying to eliminate, it just doubled. And that professional voice on the phone has vanished like a ghost in the night, leaving you completely ruined. Welcome to the Fraud Files, where we expose real scams and protect Americans like you. Today's case file could save you thousands of dollars. Let's get right into it. So, have you ever received a call where a recorded voice promises to slash your credit card interest rates? Listen, if you have, you are far from alone. Millions of Americans are targeted by this exact script every single day. And if your phone hasn't rung yet, well, just wait your turn. The caller ID usually shows a completely generic name, something like card services or account support. They promise you something that sounds incredible, totally leveraging your deepest financial fears. But here's the brutal truth of the matter. These calls, they're highly coordinated, multi-million-dollar scams. They operate out of massive boiler rooms, deploying automated systems to dial hundreds of thousands of numbers an hour. They are hunting for your hard-earned money. They're aiming to charge you massive fees for something you can easily do for free, or even worse, meticulously extracting your personal financial data to commit devastating identity theft. To truly understand how these criminal networks operate, we've got to look at why their strategy is so terrifyingly effective. See, scammers don't just guess. They weaponized your financial anxiety. According to Federal Reserve data, 16.4% was the average annual percentage rate on interest-bearing credit cards in late 2021. That is a massive jump from a decade earlier, and those numbers have only continued to climb. Fraudsters explicitly map out this financial pressure. They know average Americans are drowning in high-interest debt, which makes us vulnerable, desperate, and honestly, willing to grasp at any kind of relief. They specifically target individuals who are losing sleep over this exact percentage, preying on that sheer desperation to override your natural skepticism. And that desperation, that brings us directly into the trap. The initial contact almost never comes from a human. It's an illegal robocall casting a massive net right across the country. You pick up the phone, and an automated messenger falsely claiming to represent your bank or credit card issuer delivers a carefully engineered line. Press 1 for a special Act Now offer to switch to zero interest. Man, it sounds remarkably easy, right? Well, according to call management data, credit card schemes were actually the third most common subject of phone spam in 2021. They were sitting ominously right behind auto warranties and Social Security scams. These robocall boiler rooms dial indiscriminately, just waiting patiently for you to bite the hook. The descent into this trap happens incredibly fast. First, it starts with the robocall hitting your phone. The exact moment you press 1, you're signaling to their automated system that your line is active and that you're a willing participant. Instantly, the recording stops and a live, highly trained operator takes over. This right here is where the nightmare really begins. They hit you with a relentless, high-pressure pitch, skillfully pumping you for your card numbers and personal data while promising financial salvation. Once they've got you hooked on the dream of zero interest, they demand a massive upfront fee, boldly claiming it's absolutely required to negotiate with your bank. So you pay the fee, hoping for the best. And then, poof, they vanish. The phone numbers are disconnected. Sometimes they even use the personal information they just extracted to open multiple new credit cards in your name before disappearing completely. Section 1. Inside the Scammer's Playbook, Pitch versus Reality. To defend yourself, you have got to understand the psychological manipulation at play here. Let's look at their most effective lie. The scammer will boldly claim that their debt relief company has special insider relationships with major banks and credit unions. They'll tell you this exclusive access allows them to pull strings behind the scenes and persuade banks to lower your rates. This lie works so well because it gives you a false sense of insider privilege. But the Federal Trade Commission has thoroughly investigated these claims, and the reality is grim. It's completely fabricated. The FTC confirms no special connections exist. These scammers have absolutely no more clout with your credit card issuer than you do. You're just as likely to get turned down for a rate reduction regardless of their supposed backroom efforts. After establishing false authority, they set the ultimate hook. They hit you with an exact quote like, "We can guarantee you'll save thousands in finance charges and pay off your credit card debt 3 to 5 times faster." They might even throw in a fake money-back guarantee just to make it sound completely risk-free. Now, I really want you to remember this. The word guarantee is the ultimate poison pill of the scam. When they say guarantee, it is always a lie. They make these impossible claims for one specific reason: to short-circuit your critical thinking. They want you to stop analyzing the massive risk in front of you and start dreaming about a stress-free, debt-free life. It is a carefully crafted psychological illusion. And what comes next is the financial shock. Nearly $5,000. We're not talking about petty thieves looking for $20 here. In February 2022, the FTC busted a massive scam operation based out of Florida. Let me tell you about the real victims of operations exactly like this. Imagine David. He's a 58-year-old from Florida. David was sitting on $15,000 in credit card debt after a medical emergency. He was terrified of losing his home. Then the robocall came, promising 0% interest. The operator on the line sounded deeply empathetic, promising David a real lifeline. All he had to do was pay a $4,995 upfront fee to initiate their insider process. David drained his last remaining emergency savings to pay them. 2 days later, the company disappeared. The emotional devastation for victims like David is absolute. They are left with zero savings, higher debt, and the profound trauma of being completely violated. Section 2. Spotting the red flags. I strongly urge you to take a screenshot of this list right now to protect yourself and your loved ones. If you experience any of these 6 red flags, you are definitely talking to a scammer. 1. You receive an automated greeting from a generic card services department rather than your specific bank. 2. The company demands any sort of upfront fee before actually lowering your rate. 3. You're subjected to high-pressure, limited-time offers designed to rush your decision. 4. They ask for compromising personal information upfront, like your social security number or full account numbers. 5. They outright refuse to send you any written information or contracts about their company before you pay. And 6. They ask you to pay the fee via untraceable methods, like a wire transfer, cryptocurrency, or gift cards. Legitimate businesses will absolutely never operate this way. Let's be absolutely clear about the law here. According to the FTC's telemarketing sales rule, it is explicitly 100% illegal for a debt relief company to charge you a fee before they actually settle or lower your debt. If they ask for money upfront, they are breaking federal law. So are scammers getting caught? Well, yes. The FTC and law enforcement are actively cracking down, freezing assets and making arrests, just like that Florida bust we talked about. But here is the honest reality check. For every boiler room law enforcement shuts down, 3 more pop up under a new name the very next day. They operate in the shadows, constantly shifting tactics. Proactive defense is your only real shield. Section 3. Protecting your financial identity. All right, here are the 6 actionable defense mechanisms you must use to shield yourself. First, hang up on robocalls instantly. Do not engage. Second, and this is absolutely critical, never press 1 or any other number based on prompts in a suspicious call. Even if the recording says pressing a number will opt you out or remove you from their list, it's a lie. Pressing a button just verifies your number belongs to a real person, leading to an absolute avalanche of more spam. Third, never share or confirm your social security or card numbers with an unsolicited caller. Fourth, consider putting a security freeze on your credit report. This stops identity thieves dead in their tracks if they try to open new accounts. Fifth, routinely review your credit card statements line by line for any unauthorized microcharges, because scammers use those to test stolen cards. And sixth, download a reputable call blocking app provided directly by your mobile carrier to filter out known scam numbers. You don't just have to sit back and be a victim, though. You can actively fight back. If you spot this scam, or if you have already been targeted and lost money, you must report these fraudsters immediately. Report the incident to the Federal Trade Commission at 1-877-FTC-HELP or online at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Plus, you must also file a report with the FBI's Internet Complaint Center at ic3.gov. Every single piece of information you provide, a phone number, a name they used, an email address, all of it helps federal agents track down these boiler rooms and build a case to shut them down for good. Section 4. Lower rates the right way for free. You hold the power here, not some random voice on the phone. These criminals are charging you thousands of dollars to do something that you can achieve entirely on your own, safely and best of all, for free. Here are the legitimate steps. Step 1. Simply turn your credit card over. Call the official customer service number printed right there on the back and directly ask them for a lower interest rate. Explain your situation. Be calm, be patient, and be incredibly persistent. If the first representative says no, politely ask to speak with a supervisor. Step 2. If your credit score is still decent, apply to transfer your outstanding balance to a new credit card that offers 0% introductory APR for the first year. Step 3. If your debt is spread dangerously across multiple high-interest cards, consider taking out a legitimate debt consolidation loan from a recognized bank or credit union to roll all your payments into one single lower interest payment. So, what's it going to be? Will you let scammers steal your money, or will you take control of your own debt? Please share this explainer with your family and friends to protect them. Subscribe to the Fraud Files for daily scam alerts. Comment below if this happened to you or someone you know. Stay alert, stay safe. The fraudsters are watching, but now, so are we.